Have you ever found yourself surrounded by noise, not just the noise of the world, but the endless chatter in your mind? Do you feel like you're constantly explaining, justifying, and reacting, only to end up more exhausted and less understood? Despite your successes, do you sense a void, a yearning for peace that no achievement or possession seems to fill? Imagine this. What if the answers you're seeking don't lie in doing more, saying more, or acquiring more, but in the one thing we often overlook: silence? Could it be that in a world full of voices clamoring to be heard, the real power lies in stepping back and truly listening, not just to others, but to yourself? In this video, we explore a profound Buddhist story about Samuel, a successful yet restless man, and his transformative journey guided by a wise monk. This isn't just a story, it's a mirror reflecting the struggles and aspirations of our own lives. Together, we'll uncover the power of silence, the art of empathetic listening, and the secret to unlocking peace and clarity. Stay with us to discover lessons that might just change the way you approach every relationship, every decision, and even yourself. Are you ready to find the calm amidst the chaos? Once upon a time, in a peaceful village near the Himalayas, there lived an old monk renowned for his deep wisdom and Buddhist teachings. He resided in a small monastery, surrounded by lush green forests, where people came to learn about inner peace. One day, a wealthy and famous merchant named Samuel came to see the monk. Samuel was a successful man, possessing immense wealth and a remarkable reputation in the business world. However, deep inside, he felt empty and anxious. Meeting the monk, he said, "Master, I have everything a man could dream of: money, power, and admiration. But I do not feel at peace. My mind is always busy and tired. Please help me find tranquility." The monk quietly looked at Samuel for a long time, then gently said, "You have the answer within you, but you have never stopped to discover it. I have an exercise for you. If you are willing, it could change your life forever." Samuel, though skeptical, agreed. He thought the monk would teach him some profound techniques or impart a secret wisdom. The monk led Samuel to a small room in the monastery and said, "For the next 15 days, you will live here like an ordinary person. You must not speak too much, just maintain silence and observe. Do not let your mind be carried away by hasty thoughts. Simply live." The first few days were indeed difficult for Samuel. He felt uneasy, uncomfortable, and frustrated because he couldn't talk or express his opinions. His mind was full of unanswered questions. However, he tried to restrain himself, maintaining silence and focusing on observing his surroundings. By the 5th day, he began to notice a difference. The birds singing on the branches, the leaves rustling in the wind, the sunlight filtering through the trees, everything seemed more vivid. Samuel realized that this was the first time in his life he truly paid attention to the beauty of nature without being distracted by worries or plans. On the 10th day, Samuel was invited to a conversation with the monk. The monk asked, "Samuel, how do you feel after these days?" Samuel replied, his voice softer than before, "Master, I have realized that silence helps me see things more clearly. But I still don't understand how this can bring lasting peace." The monk smiled. "Silence is not just about not speaking. It is also the art of empathetic listening. When you know how to listen, you not only understand others but also yourself." Curious, Samuel asked, "But what is empathetic listening, and what does it do?" The monk explained. Empathetic listening is when you give your full attention to the person in front of you, without judgment, without interrupting, and without trying to offer immediate solutions. Listening this way helps you truly understand the emotions, needs, and thoughts of others. It is the key to building lasting relationships and minimizing conflicts. To illustrate, the monk told a story about Buddha. Buddha once said that when we listen with an open heart, we not only hear the words but also understand the unspoken. One day, Buddha met a very angry man. Instead of reacting, he quietly listened until the man realized his own mistakes. Listening this way not only helps others but also brings peace to ourselves. The old monk smiled, looked at Samuel, and said, "Empathetic listening is an art, and like any other art, it requires practice. Today, I will show you 4 basic methods, each with its own reason and way of implementation. I will help you understand them better through specific examples from your own life. To listen effectively, we need to perform the following steps. Step 1. Complete focus. Why do we need to do this? When we listen without full attention, the person speaking to us may feel ignored or disrespected. Furthermore, if our mind wanders, we miss important information and cannot fully understand the other person's emotions. Complete focus is the first step in building genuine connection. How should this be done? Put everything else aside when you listen. Set aside your work and direct all your attention to the person speaking to you. Look into their eyes, maintain a comfortable posture, but not too relaxed to avoid losing focus. The monk looked at Samuel and continued to explain. Imagine one day, a business partner comes to you with a worried expression. Instead of stopping to listen, you gaze outside while nodding absent-mindedly. The partner will think that you don't really care, and they will lose trust. But if you fully focus on the conversation, sit face to face and look into their eyes, they will feel respected, no matter how trivial their issue might be. Samuel nodded, realizing that he had often unintentionally made his partners feel uncomfortable due to his bad habit of not paying full attention during conversations. Step 2. Asking open-ended questions. Why do we need to do this? Open-ended questions not only help the other person express their feelings but also show that you genuinely care about their story. Instead of imposing opinions, open-ended questions allow the conversation to delve deeper into the issue. How should this be done? Instead of asking short answer questions like, "How do you feel?" or "Is everything okay?" ask deeper questions like, "Why do you feel that way?" or "What led to this situation?" The monk continued, "Samuel, last time when one of your employees complained about their work, you asked, 'Why didn't you meet the deadline?' Instead, if you had asked, 'Is there something in the job that's causing you difficulty?' the employee might have felt more comfortable and shared more details. An open-ended question encourages them to speak truthfully, and you will understand the real issue better." Samuel remembered a time when he had judged his employee too quickly and promised to change his approach. Step 3. Showing empathy. "Samuel, do you know why we need this third step?" Samuel replied, "Master, I do not understand clearly, please explain it to me." The monk shared, "The person in front of you is always looking for empathy, not just advice or solutions. When you show that you understand their feelings, they will feel comforted and open up more easily. How should this be done? Use eye contact, gentle nods, or phrases like, 'I understand how you feel,' or 'This must be very difficult for you.' Avoid superficial or critical attitudes." The monk asked Samuel, "Samuel, suppose you meet a major client, and they share that their family is facing difficulties. Instead of quickly moving on to business matters, if you say, 'I'm really sorry to hear that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help,' that client will feel your sincerity. They will see you not just as a merchant but as a trustworthy friend." Samuel suddenly realized that he had often overlooked the personal feelings of others in his previous conversations and interactions. Step 4. Summarizing and responding. Why do we need to do this? Summarizing and responding helps the other person know that you are listening. It also helps clarify information and avoid misunderstandings. This is a way to ensure that both parties are on the same page. How should this be done? After the other person shares, repeat the main points in your own words and ask, "Is this what you mean?" This not only confirms your understanding but also makes them feel heard. The monk asked, "Samuel, if an employee says to you, 'I feel stressed because of the current workload,' what would you do?" Samuel replied, "I would say that I understand." The monk shook his head. "That's not enough. Try saying, 'So you mean the current workload is overwhelming, and you want to reduce it, right? How can I help you?' This will encourage them to share more and allow you to address the issue correctly." Samuel listened and reflected deeply. The monk's examples not only helped him understand empathetic listening better but also made him realize that this practice not only improves communication but is also key to bonding and success in both personal and professional life. The old monk looked deeply into Samuel's eyes, as if trying to read his thoughts. After a moment of silence, the monk began to speak. Samuel, your work, your grand plans, and your aspirations for success are all very admirable. But I have noticed something. You are letting your mind be disturbed by trivial matters, and this is causing you to lose your peace. You often get caught up in petty arguments, both in your work and personal life, don't you? Samuel nodded, unable to hide his embarrassment. Yes, master. It seems like everyone around me always has something they are unhappy about, and I often feel the need to explain and defend my viewpoints. But every time I do so, I end up feeling even more exhausted. The monk smiled gently and explained. That is the first lesson you need to learn. When people learn to stay silent, many problems naturally disappear. Silence is not a sign of weakness or surrender. It is a way to invite peace back into your life. Imagine if during a meeting, when opposing opinions start to flare up, instead of engaging in heated arguments, you just listen and observe without reacting immediately. You will find that sometimes, just by being silent, conflicts will gradually subside. Samuel wondered. But master, if I stay silent, won't others think that I am not strong enough or that I don't care? The monk replied. Not all silences are the same, Samuel. The right kind of silence is not indifference. It is a manifestation of confidence and inner control. When you maintain inner peace, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. This not only helps you avoid unnecessary arguments, but also gives more weight to your words when you do speak. The monk continued to analyze. Samuel, you often feel frustrated when working with people who don't understand you, right? That's because you are letting external energy control your emotions. Instead of letting others make you anxious, learn to reconnect with yourself. For example, in the morning, if you wake up feeling pressured by work or someone's presence, try sitting down, closing your eyes, and taking deep breaths. Imagine your mind as a lake, and your breath as a gentle breeze calming the waves. When you do this, the positive energy inside you will naturally flow, and you will feel refreshed to start the new day. Samuel remained silent, letting every word of the monk seep deeply into his mind. You know, Samuel, the monk continued, a person who understands the value of silence can find peace even in a crowded place. Being alone is not loneliness, it is an opportunity to meet yourself. And when you return to communication, your words will carry a different quality. Those words will be like a refreshing stream, touching the hearts of others, instead of just noisy sounds demanding to be heard. The monk paused for a moment, then smiled and said, Remember, Samuel, the journey within is the most important journey of a lifetime. When you learn to enter your inner world, you will encounter the depths of life and even perceive the concept of death and rebirth. Each time you do this, you will return with a new source of energy, like the refreshing feeling after a summer rain. And when you bring that energy into your work, family, and relationships, you will find that everything becomes easier. Samuel bowed his head, filled with a sense of gratitude. He realized that the peace he had been seeking for so long was not out there, but right within himself. On the 15th day, Samuel stepped out of the monastery with a light and refreshed soul. He met the monk to express his gratitude. Master, I have realized that silence and listening are the most precious gifts one can give oneself. Over the past days, I have not only learned to control my mind but also how to connect more deeply with others. The monk smiled and said, Samuel, what I am sharing with you is not something I came up with myself. It comes from the wisdom of a great being, Buddha, the enlightened one who has transformed the lives of millions of people on this earth. His teachings are not just for monks or followers of his religion, but for everyone, regardless of who they are, what they do, or where they live. And Samuel, you are no exception. Samuel listened intently, his eyes filled with curiosity. The monk continued, Buddha taught that lasting happiness does not come from wealth or power, but from understanding oneself and controlling one's mind. He once said, the greatest victory is the victory over oneself. The methods I have taught you, silence, empathetic listening, and the journey of inner exploration, are all tools to help you walk this path. He paused for a moment, then added, If Buddha, an ordinary human like us, could find peace and bring light to the world, then you can do the same for yourself and those around you. Let the days ahead be an opportunity for you to start this journey. Whether you are a merchant or a leader, these lessons will help you live a more meaningful life. Samuel felt his heart filled with newfound strength. He understood that this path was not just for others, but was exactly the path he had been seeking. Samuel left, carrying with him these valuable lessons. From then on, he applied silence and empathetic listening in his life. His relationships became deeper, his work more successful, and above all, he found peace within his soul. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for being part of this journey into the power of silence and mindful living. We hope that the lessons shared here inspire you to embrace silence, practice empathetic listening, and cultivate inner peace in your own life. Remember, small changes in how we perceive and respond to the world can lead to profound transformations. If you found this story meaningful, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from its message. By spreading these timeless lessons, you can help others find clarity, balance, and purpose in their lives. We also invite you to subscribe to Wisdom Life, where we explore life's most profound questions through inspiring stories and practical lessons. By joining our community, you'll embark on a journey of personal growth, mindfulness, and self-discovery. At Wisdom Life, we are committed to creating content that enriches your mind, strengthens your spirit, and helps you unlock your full potential. Our channel is built on the pillars of ethics, wisdom, and willpower, offering videos that aim to inspire, uplift, and transform. We believe in helping you lead a more meaningful and fulfilling life, one story at a time. Thank you again for your trust and support. Together, let's continue exploring the timeless wisdom that has the power to shape our lives for the better. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.